Now that all the rioting is finished, we can finally talk about all the things Donald Trump did right. Good Marc TV morning. Now, the man who is about to become president of the United States is now also Time Magazine's Man of the Year. Now, a lot of people are asking, why is this guy Man of the Year? After all, he's a loudmouth, he might even be an idiot, he's a fool, not qualified to run the country. But here's the thing. Time Magazine didn't pick this guy because of how great he is. They picked him because of how newsworthy he was. And you got to admit, for 2016, nobody was more newsworthy than Donald Trump. And in my opinion, what made him newsworthy was not so much what he said or what he did, but how people reacted to it. It was incredible the number of people who gathered around and supported this guy regardless of what he said. Some things that were racist, offensive, lies, or just didn't make any sense. But regardless, that's not what this episode is about. What we really want to focus on is what he did right. After all, you don't win almost every state by doing things wrong. And what's great is a lot of the things he did you can apply to your business. That's right, there are positive things that we can learn from Donald Trump. Now let's jump right in here. The first thing that Donald Trump did that was absolutely perfect was his brand identity. That's right, the suits he wore, the color of his tie, you'll notice it's almost always red. His unique hairstyle that everyone loved to make fun of, but they all knew it. Nobody had hair like Donald Trump. Even the way he walked, the way he talked, words that he used, gestures he made, and you knew when someone was trying to mimic him or impersonate him, they could do a lousy job and you still knew that they were trying to be Donald Trump. So my question to you is, does your business have such a strong brand identity that even if people were to try to rip it off or pretend to use it as their own, people would still trace it back to you? You've identified yourself so strongly in everything that you do, whether it be your signage, your graphics, your website, business cards, uniforms, corporate colors. I mean, these are things that every business can easily adopt. My favorite example of this is UPS. Everything is brown. The trucks are brown, the uniforms are brown. Okay, I'll admit not everybody looks good in brown, but the fact is you know a UPS truck when you see one. And if you were to be a courier company and paint your vehicles brown, people would think that you were trying to be like UPS. The second thing that Donald Trump did incredibly well is that he had a very focused message which was reflective of his own values and beliefs. Now, while a significant portion of the population didn't share those values or beliefs, an even bigger segment of the voting population did, or at least enough to get him elected. The point is he said things that he believed. He didn't try to say what he thought other people wanted to hear. And so many businesses are guilty of this. They have what's commonly referred to as a target market, where they focus on a specific group and say, okay, what can we say, what can we convey, what can we show that that group would want to see and hear? And my argument is, instead of doing that, why don't you say and do things that are reflective of your own values and thus attract the kinds of people who share and believe in those values? Then you will be attracting the kinds of customers you want. The third thing that Donald Trump did really well, and I think this is very important, is he provided clarity. That's right, there was no double speak or he didn't use big words. He just said it. He just said what was on his mind. It was like he was just sitting across from you at a restaurant or a bar or something and just shooting the shit. He just said anything. Now, granted, a lot of what he said could be interpreted as ignorant and stupid and whatever, but the fact is you definitely understood what he was saying. At no point did you have to try to decipher it. He spoke in plain English. Now, a lot of businesses, well, they kind of have trouble with this, and I think in large part it's because they're worried about sounding dumb. But the fact is, businesses don't have to sound complicated. They don't have to make things sound more challenging or difficult than they really are. They don't have to use industry jargon if they don't want to, because half the time no one understands it but them anyway. So when putting together your next presentation or your next sales package or PowerPoint presentation, take some advice from Donald Trump and just say it in plain English. Chances are not only are people going to appreciate it and understand it, but it'll resonate better with them too. And next we have number 4 on the list of things Donald Trump did right, and that would be repetition. You see, regardless of the fact you may have agreed or disagreed with what he said or what he believed in, you knew what those things were because he kept repeating them over and over. And you can ask anybody, whether they followed the election or not, what key things did Donald Trump focus on? And instantly you'd know things like killing Obamacare, bringing jobs back to the US, renegotiating trade deals, and of course, building a wall along the Mexican border. Now it amazes me how many business owners don't really understand or apply the concept of repetition. You see, if you have a key message or something specific you want to say, it has to be said over and over in every type of media, whether it's the web, print, television, radio, whatever it is. You got to make that point clear. You see, the problem is it takes a long time for this message to get out there, regardless of what you're saying. I mean, Donald Trump was saying it for months, but a lot of business owners are pretty impatient. What they'll do is they'll try to say something, maybe in the web or in print or whatever. They'll give it a couple months. If they don't get a reaction to it, they'll pull it and try something new. So over the long term, there's no clear and concise message. So repeating that message over and over, that's what's key. And the last point, and this isn't so much about what he did right as it is about what we can learn about how he did it. And that being the understanding that people are going to do whatever they want, regardless of marketing, regardless of celebrity endorsements. And you got to remember, Hillary had people like George Clooney, Amy Schumer, and LeBron James all endorsing her, and yet it didn't matter because what Donald Trump said and did resonated with people beyond what George Clooney could convince them to do. In cases where celebrities are endorsing other people's products or their own, like Air Jordans or Steph Curry's, the fact is people aren't buying the product because they were told to do so by the celebrity. They're buying the product because they associate with that celebrity. They share the values and ideals and the emotional connection that they feel they have with that celebrity. They want to kind of connect with them or be like them in some, albeit superficial way, but perhaps owning that pair of sneakers gets you just a little bit closer to being like Steph Curry. As popular as celebrity endorsements might be, the fact is they don't really carry a lot of weight. Studies have shown that people will not change their behavior because a celebrity told them to do so. But what made this election unique is that Donald Trump is in himself a celebrity and he was basically endorsing himself. So as a business owner, I think it really comes down to just understanding what people want, what your market wants. And when I say market, I don't mean that target market. I mean those that you feel connected with, those that would represent the ideal client. That's right. It's about you understanding what your ideal client wants and you conveying that clearly through repetition, creating a concise message, strong brand identity, and of course being sincere and authentic. And when you do that, I think you're going to have a winning combination and you're going to get people who embrace that message and want to be a part of whatever it is you're doing. So in spite of your opinion of Donald Trump, I hope you were able to pull some positives out of this that you can apply to your business. And if you like the episode, be sure to share. If you got any comments or questions, post them down below. You know I'll answer back. And if you want notice of new Marc TV episodes, all you have to do is click the little subscribe button in the corner and you'll get notified when new ones go live. So until next time, I'm Marc Gordon and you've been watching Marc TV.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keeping hot, just give me that countryside.